Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Heartslayers. We are the Heartslayers, Derrick Acosta and
Meg Turner.
And today we are broadcasting another edition of Heartslayers After Dark.
Yeah.
We're going to be taking your phone calls, reading your emails, answering all of your questions about your relationship drama, baby mama drama,
That's the best drama.
mother-father drama, brother-sister drama, coworker, best friend, whatever you have, you can call us up. We'll gossip about it for a little bit, and then we will set you straight. So without any further ado, let's get it started. All right, everybody, we are here with an anonymous caller. Anonymous caller, you were talking to Meg and Derrick, the Heartslayers. What's up?
So about 2 months ago, I went to a psychiatrist and I got diagnosed with sociopathy, antisocial personality disorder. And the gist of that is that I just don't generally feel empathy for people. And not long after that, my girlfriend at the time broke up with me. And now I'm trying to get back into dating again, and I'm unsure when I should bring up that diagnosis to people I'm looking to date, because it's something big. So I know I need to be upfront about it. But if I say it, first thing, as soon as I introduce myself to them, that's going to color their perception of me. They're going to think I'm Patrick Bateman.
Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
Yeah.
Wow. So your question is, when do you bring up that you have this
Disorder.
condition? What? So it says, I'm sorry, your condition is that you don't feel empathy for other people. Is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty much. That's the quickest way to explain.
So what does that entail? Really, I've never met anybody with. And what's it called again?
So normally, technically, it's antisocial personality disorder.
Okay.
But the quickest way, I'm not too concerned about feeling insulted. So the quickest way I describe it to other people is just sociopathy.
Okay.
And how does this manifest in your life, if you don't mind me asking? How did you first notice that something was wrong, or what are kind of the situations where this would affect you?
Honestly, even from I knew to some degree about it before I even received the diagnosis, and I think the biggest thing was that I guess the kind of disgust and sickening response that most people have to seeing disgusting things like blood or gore. I remember when I was a teenager, one of my friends told me he couldn't watch the one scene in Pulp Fiction where they stick the injector into the guy without feeling sick. And it seemed so strange to me to feel actually physically sick just from seeing or hearing something. And I think that was when I first knew that something was really up.
Okay. So, I feel like obviously there's maybe a spectrum of this, because I don't, feel anything when I see that scene in Pulp Fiction. But there's definitely things that do kind of stir me up and are things that I can't handle. But you're saying basically for you, there's no level of repulsion or, you could basically watch anything, any scene in any movie, and it won't really stir up anything for you, huh?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Wow. Did this ever play a factor in your past relationship? Was this a problem at all, or not really?
I mean, I guess my previous girlfriend that broke up with me, she, I guess, to some degree thought I was cold and, for lack of a better term, unempathetic. I know often she'd come to me just wanting to vent and complain about things. and I would take a very, I guess, methodical approach. I'd like try to suggest solutions or the like when she just wanted to vent.
Okay. So would this be like a situation where maybe she was upset, like her emotions were running high and you wouldn't really kind of validate those emotions, and instead you would just kind of take a
offer solution,
attached analytical view of the situation? Is that what was going on?
Yeah, I guess for the most part.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah. I'm just, I'm curious. I've never spoken to anybody. I think I've heard of,
like being a sociopath and that
yeah, I guess. I mean, I've heard of people who have trouble empathizing with stuff, and I think to a degree, maybe I'm that way too.
Uh-oh.
But okay, so let me ask you, do you ever feel like, are there situations where maybe you should be empathizing but you just aren't, Do you recognize situations where you...
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I can identify when people expect me to have some emotional response, and for the most part, I'm good at producing a reasonable facsimile. Like when people tell me about their relatives that died or about some complications in their life, I can, I'll tell them, oh, I'm so sorry, that's so sad, but
yeah,
I don't actually feel it,
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just kind of fake it just to fit in and give them what they want?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, that's nice of you.
I mean,
I feel like if you can do that, you could pretty much get through life, no problem.
Has your therapist offered like any kind of suggestions on how you should be going about things?
Yeah, my therapist has suggested exercises to help me kind of empathize with other people. And maybe I'm a bad person, but to a certain degree, I kind of don't want to, because it seems like it'd be burdensome, I guess.
What a waste of time. Being emotional over bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean,
What is an empathy exercise? Like what are the like, could you give us an example of one of the exercises?
It's going to sound simple to, I guess, a stupid degree, but I think the most common suggestion is just whenever somebody tells you about something and somebody tells me about something, and I know that they're expecting some kind of empathetic response, is to just immediately try and picture how I would feel where I...
Oh, are you there? I think you may have cut out.
Oh, did it cut out?
Picture how you would feel if you were...
I would feel were I in the same situation as they were.
Okay. Well, yeah, that seems simple. I guess that is the definition of empathy, is it not?
It is.
But is that something you wouldn't normally do or would never cross your mind to do?
I mean, I guess not really. In most situations, if I know what kind of response I'm supposed to give, I just go ahead and feign that response rather than necessarily trying to feel the same way that they do about the situation.
Now, let me ask you something, because I'm curious, and I know this isn't answering your question in any way, but I'm just curious. So if you have gone through a bad experience in the past, something that you have personally experienced, and then you meet somebody else who's currently going through it now, do you reflect on your past experience and then, can you relate and empathize to them through that way? Or is it just, does that not even happen?
I mean, I can relate my past experiences to them, but I wouldn't say that it's necessarily an emotional response. Like, for the most part, in that same situation, I'd tell them about what happened to me and like how I dealt with it.
Oh, okay.
And
But you don't
I solved the issue, but I don't think I would really get an immediate emotional response.
You don't relive any of those past emotions or any like anger you felt at the time when it happened to you. None of that comes back.
No, not really.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, cool. Well, thank you for humoring me. Okay, so to answer your question, anonymous caller, when should you bring it up? I think that that's something that you can bring up pretty early.
Yeah.
Basically, if you decide that you really like the person that you're with, if it's a
Yeah.
first date and you're still trying to figure out, like, am I attracted to this person? Is this person cool? Do I want to go on a second date? Maybe don't bring it up. But once you realize, like, I do like this person.
Yeah, if you're kind of exclusively seeing them and things
Yeah,
are
or
progressing.
even if, like, I want to potentially pursue a relationship here, then I think the sooner the better to lay all your cards on the table. Because one, if you're able to talk about it openly and kind of casually, maybe it won't be such a big deal. And if there is any problem or issue they would have, I think it would be worse if they got to know you for a long
if
time.
They're like in the thick of a relationship and then you drop it.
They felt like maybe you were hiding or concealing it. It could turn into a problem, well, why weren't you honest about this? But if you're not ashamed of it and you bring it up, early on, and you basically have nothing to hide and you're open about it, I think that they can respect that and be like, okay, well, thank you for sharing. And I will try to understand, or at least be aware that you may seem cold or distant at certain times, but it's because of this diagnosis that you have.
Exactly.
What do you think?
All right, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't open up with it like, "Hi, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming on this blind date. So here's all my issues."
Yeah.
No, I would, like I said, once it becomes clear, like, oh, I really like this person. I think I might want to pursue something with this person. Be like, okay, I need to be honest. I wouldn't preface it like it's a bad thing. I would preface it with, I really like you, and so I feel like I should tell you something about myself that not a lot of people know.
Right, because if you're pursuing someone and you do come off cold, they could take that as disinterest as well. So just kind of getting it out in the open, I think, is your best opportunity.
Yeah. But you know what, too? Like, everybody has something about themselves that they're afraid to share. And everybody gets to this moment where it's like, I really like this person. It's time for that make or break moment. I'm going to tell them the skeleton in my closet, and they're either going to go running for the hills or they're going to accept me for who I am.
Yep.
And, everybody has to come to that point at some point in a relationship. So the sooner you get it over with, the better.
Yep.
Okay, thank you for the help.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. And thank you for the call. Really appreciate it.
All right. I guess that's that then.
That's that.
Bye.
Yeah. We'll see you later. Bye. Okay, everybody. We are here on the phone with Braden. Braden, you were talking to Meg and Derrick, the Heartslayers. What's up?
Hey, so I have a question that's maybe like a non-problem, and it's more about other people's relationships. So just for some context, I was in a really terrible, like, abusive relationship for about 5 years, from the time I was 16 to 21. So now I'm finding that anytime my friends date someone or like talking to someone, I'm always looking for like sociopathic traits in them and just trying to figure out why they're an awful person. And I can tell that it's getting on everyone's nerves. But I just have like kind of an eagle eye for that sort of thing now, and I just feel protective of my friends and the people around me. So my question is, how can I be protective of my friends and look out for them? Like, tell them to dump everybody that they become interested in. If that makes sense.
How can I tell them to dump everybody?
That's what I do. Basically, anytime they give me a rundown, it's like, well, they sound like a bad person. I think you should just end it here.
You're always looking for sociopathic traits. So,
what would you define as a sociopathic trait?
You asking me or
no?
Braden?
I'm asking
Okay.
Braden.
Well, sociopathic and more just like things that I can tell are red flags, but maybe my friends aren't noticing.
Okay.
Like the way that their crush talks about them, or like kind of like a, I don't know, like a something like that, or I just notice that they're talking about them in a way that doesn't sit right with me, or their behavior,
Okay.
So are you meeting these people and then after you meet them, you're talking to your friends, or is this more like your friends are describing their new crush or boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever to you, and then you're going off what your friends are saying?
It's a little bit of both. I recently met a guy that a friend of mine was seeing. They weren't like official or anything yet, and he was really quiet, and I can tell that he was nervous around me, and he wasn't acting the way that she had described him as of him, because I felt like he could tell that I was kind of looking out for her. So after that, I was like, I don't know about this guy, and she kind of got defensive.
What didn't you like about that guy? That he was so quiet?
I didn't like that he was so quiet, and he kept checking instead of like, I didn't like the way he was talking about her. Like, he would say kind of like, they hadn't even known each other very long, but he was saying things like, well, you know how you are, and like, you know how you act when we go here and whatever. Like, he was kind of being patronizing to her.
I think your microphone cut out for a second. He kept checking what?
Oh, I meant that like after he would say something, he would kind of look at me to like
verify,
I guess. And then he was being really patronizing towards my friend.
Okay.
And I don't think she was picking up on that.
Okay. Well,
I hope this is making sense.
No, it's making sense. I think we're losing a little bit of your words a little bit because there's like a microphone connection issue slightly, okay. But we're getting like 95% of it. So I'm following along. Do you have an opinion on this, Meg?
I mean, it's tough because obviously maybe the impression that you got from, in this one particular instance, the impression that you got from your friend's boyfriend or whatever they are, he was probably nervous.
Yeah.
Meeting like obviously a friend, because that's something that is a little nerve-wracking, I guess. Like if I was somebody's girlfriend and I'm meeting their close friends for the first time, I would want to make the best impression possible. And maybe he was just a little on edge and didn't really put the best foot forward. But if he was being patronizing, I do think that is a red flag. And I would be like, hey, like maybe that's not cool. Does he do this a lot?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also maybe would see if you could spend more time with them before bringing it up to see if it's a consistent thing.
Yeah, I think so too. I base it a lot on like, tell me, especially if I can't meet the person,
right?
And I'm just going off of like what they're telling me about them, or if they're upset about something that person did. I'm pretty much just always thinking of like, oh, that reminds me of my ex, so you should get away from that person.
Right.
So that's the problem. Is I'm just like always looking for my ex and people.
I'm going to give you my advice. Well, okay, that's interesting that you say that. My advice, to be blunt, I would zip it up and not comment negatively on other people's relationships. No matter what you think, because I would say 90% of the time, you're going to be the one who gets dumped out of that relationship. I think people will mostly go with their partner and cut out their friends. Yeah. Especially like, and there's various reasons for that. Like, I think the biggest thing is people act differently depending on the situations and depending on who they're around.
Right.
So I've dated girls who one-on-one, when it was just the two of us, was really amazing. And then as soon as they got around their friends, they would turn into like a different person. And I would tell my girlfriends, like, I fucking hate you when you're around your friends. Like, you're so cool to me when it's just the two of us, but when you're around your friends, like, suddenly you want to look good in front of your friends and you start treating me like crap. And that's just to say that people change depending on the dynamic change.
Yeah.
So maybe their relationship is really great when they're alone. And then when they're hanging out with you, you know, there's a dynamic shift and the boyfriend isn't acting the way he is when they're alone. And then that turns into this situation of like, well, I don't think this boy is good for you. And then, you know, your friend would be like, well, you don't really know him. Like, you don't know him like I do. And it causes all of this drama.
Yeah. But I mean, I can also offer like a different side of that.
Yeah.
Because in my relationship that lasted for as long as it did, when it realistically shouldn't have, like I had people coming to me after we had broken up and saying like, oh yeah, I knew that like this wasn't right, and I wish that they would have said something to me, because when
that's exactly my issue is I feel responsible to say something about it,
right? Because
if
when
I
you're
notice
on the
it.
inside,
But
like,
would you have heard them, like if they did say something?
It's a yes and no thing, because it probably would have planted the question in my mind like, hey, maybe this isn't right, because when you're on the inside, you're blind to it. And then once you're out, it's like, oh yeah, that was shitty. But if somebody on the outside that doesn't really like, or that might see something that you don't, if they said something to me, I might have been like, well, okay, yeah, fuck off. But the question would still be there for me.
All right,
I don't
but
know.
have you ever been in this situation, either with yourself or a friend, where there's this couple, they're together, and the friend thinks, oh, this guy isn't right for my friend.
Yeah.
Then the couple breaks up, and suddenly the friend's like, good, I'm glad you broke up, because that guy fucking sucked, and I knew he wasn't right for you. He was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then they get back together, and it's like, okay, well, now the three of us are never hanging out again because my boyfriend knows you hate him. You know, like...
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, realistically.
What I think
it's like a individual case thing. Like, it kind of depends. So maybe I'll just try to give the person a little bit more time before I start judging them very harshly.
I think you should...
I'll just judge them casually at first.
I think you should support your friend's happiness no matter what. So if they're happy dating a person that you don't like, but they're happy with that person, you should support them. And if they come to you for advice and they feel like, hey, you know, I want to complain about my boyfriend, you should support them, you know, and maybe you say like, I agree with you. I think everything you're saying is true. And I've actually noticed the same thing. Like if you validate a problem that they are perceiving themselves, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way of approaching the subject without outright being like, hey, I don't think this guy's good for you.
Yeah, but I wouldn't try to control their relationship or affect it in any way and say like, hey, I know you think you're happy with this guy, but let me tell you why you're not.
Yeah.
Because that will cause a rift.
Right.
And that's just going to attract drama that you don't want. So, you know, kind of, I would keep note and, you know, make your judgments, but maybe keep them to yourself.
Yeah.
And if the time arises where your friend legitimately wants or needs to hear that stuff, then you can be open and honest with them. But if they're not looking,
if they're not asking for it
to hear that, then they don't want to hear it. And it's just gonna affect you badly.
I think so. I think I'm just bringing too much of my personal baggage to it. I think that's like the main problem. So yeah, I guess I'll just, you know, sit back and try not to take on myself and then let it ruin my friendships and just wait for them to come to me.
Yeah, and you have to remember that these guys aren't your ex, as even if they may seem similar, they are not that person.
Right.
So you can't let the past relationships affect the current ones. You have to give everybody the benefit of the doubt every time, because you never know the little subtleties of what they're going through. So you can't judge them based on the actions of somebody else. That's not fair.
Right.
Yeah, it's nice to hear that, like, because I've definitely thought that and I've rationalized it. Like, I shouldn't be doing this. It's not fair to that person. I don't know them. But the part of me that's like, I want to protect my friends, and it's coming from a place of love.
Yeah.
Like, that blinds me to it. Like,
well, you have to remember too, what your friends really want, what everybody wants, is to date somebody who's awesome and is loved by their friends.
Yeah.
They don't want to date somebody that they think is awesome, but all their friends think is a piece of shit.
Yeah, no,
Like, that's an
exactly.
awful place to be.
Sure.
So, you know, the best reality, the best situation you can provide for your friends is I am a friend to you and your boyfriend, even though he's shy. And he kind of reminds me of my ex a little bit.
Yeah.
He's not my ex, and I'm happy for you guys. But if you ever want to talk shit, I'm the girl to call.
I go from like 0 to 100 real fast with that. Like if I do keep my mouth shut about it, and I've been keeping things to myself, like a river, whenever they finally are like, I don't like this person anymore. So I need to just work on, holding off on passing judgment on somebody, I think, for myself mostly, because it just makes me stuck in the past and thinking about my ex-boyfriend, and that sucks.
Yeah,
because it's not your responsibility on top of all of that.
Yeah, your friends need to make their own mistakes. They may not know what you know because they've never gone through the experience you've gone through.
Right.
As bad as that experience was, maybe you're a stronger person because you went through it, and maybe they need to go through it so that they can become a stronger person as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for the tough love. I guess I needed that too.
Sure. Well, we appreciate the call. Thanks for chatting with us.
You guys have a good one.
Bye.
You too.
Okay, everybody, we are here on the phone with Doodle Bopper. Doodle Bopper, you're speaking with Derrick and Meg, the Heartslayers. What's up?
Hi. So I am a university student, and I am in a major that's kind of small. It's got like 70 people in it, and so we're all kind of like friends together. And there's a girl in this major that I've developed kind of a crush on, which never really happens for me. But yeah, I'm kind of in a situation where I don't really know what to do. Basically, what happened was one night we were all hanging out together. There was a party, and I'm not exactly accustomed to drinking as much as I did that night. So certain things happened that I don't really remember, and there's some consequences that I have to deal with that I don't really know how to proceed with now. And this girl was there, right? As well as a bunch of the other people in our major. So a lot of us were really close. We knew each other. And I don't remember this, but what actually happened was that I made out with someone that night, and and it was one of this girl's friends, but it's not the person that I'm interested in. You feel?
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what's your question?
Yeah. So I made out with someone that I am not interested in, and that was basically like the memories of that night are really fuzzy, but I'm pretty sure it was like right in front of the girl that I actually do like. And so the next morning after, I woke up at the place where the party was at, and the girl that I like actually helped me get home and everything, which was really nice. But then all the days after that, which was, we only saw each other a few more days because it was like the last day of school, but all the days after that, we felt really distant, and it's kind of felt kind of awkward for obvious reasons. So I'm trying to figure out how to like get myself out of the situation, get myself into a position where I can actually start talking to the girl that I actually like,
Gotcha.
How do you get out of this awkward situation and start talking to the girl you like? So I assume you haven't spoken to each other in a couple weeks. Summertime right now. Is that correct?
Yeah. We've seen each other because there's some things that happen within our major over the summer, but we haven't exactly spoke directly to one another.
Interesting. You made out with their friend, huh?
Yeah.
What happened between you and the friend? You haven't spoken to that person either?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that. So, ever since that happened, this person who I made out with is now Snapchatting me a lot. And they actually asked me out on a date like a few days ago. And I told them that I was not interested in anything romantic or anything like that.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Did you tell them why?
No.
Okay.
Does it seem like you and the person you're interested in, does it seem like she's like avoiding you?
I don't think so. I feel like I don't know. It's so hard for me to tell because the only 2 times that we saw each other after that was when we were working on an event together, and we were working. We were not like, socializing as much.
Right.
And the other time was at a meeting, which was all business.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's kind of hard to tell.
Okay, and let me ask. So you were at this party, this event, whatever, you made out with this girl. You don't remember this happening?
I have very, very brief glimpses of that night. I don't know who initiated that. It doesn't feel like it would be me. It feels like that would be out of character for me.
Yeah, she probably
Yeah.
liked you. She asked you out on a
Well,
date later.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
but basically, you don't remember. Do you remember making out with her?
Just kind of, very vaguely.
Okay, it wasn't a situation where somebody was like, "Hey, man, I saw you making out with this person."
And you're like, what?
Whoa.
Yeah, I wasn't totally surprised.
Okay, so you vaguely
yeah.
recall it. And do you remember how the night ended? Or does it just kind of, you wake up the next day?
I just woke up the next day.
Okay, all right. And you don't like this person whatsoever?
As a friend, but yeah.
The person you made out with? Do you just like him as a friend?
Just as a friend, yeah.
Okay. A good friend? Like, do you want to be friends? Are you guys going to go hang out and do stuff or not really?
I'd like to hang out as friends. I'm hoping that we can, stay at that level.
Okay. All right. Here's my advice.
Okay.
Unless you want to handle this one, Meg.
No, I mean, you seem like you have it loaded.
I've got it all loaded up. Here's what I would suggest you do. As far as the girl you like and you want to be with or whatever, pursue, when it comes to making out with the friend, just act like it never happened.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Just forget about it, okay? You were blackout drunk. You only vaguely remember it anyways.
You don't know how drunk she was.
You don't know how drunk she was. You aren't interested in that girl to begin with. And you know what? You're in college. Yeah. Right? Yes.
Yeah.
People make out with people in college.
Yeah.
Like NBD. It's not the end of the world.
It's not like you propose.
You guys
or
are,
something.
as Wiz Khalifa would say, young, wild, and free. Okay? You can make out with whoever you want. It doesn't mean you're going to marry them.
Yeah.
It happened. So what? You barely remember it anyways. It's not a big deal. It's not anything to harp on. I honestly would just imagine she might think you're actually interested in her friend.
Right.
But if you just forget about it and move on and pursue her and make it obvious that you're interested in her, then that's what it is.
Exactly.
It's not like she's going to be like, well, actually, I thought you liked my friend. And if she does say that, you can just be honest with her. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of blacked out at that party and I honestly don't really remember that happening. And,
Right.
And, it is what it is. Apparently I made out with her, but I don't remember.
But it might be a little awkward because maybe if she knows that her friend is interested in you,
Oh yeah.
then
yeah.
it might be a little messy.
Well, here's what I was going to say. With that person, you should hang out with them and talk to them about it and tell them like, hey, we were at that party, but, I just want to be friends. I really like you as a friend. But, I just want to maintain this as a friendship.
Right.
And I wouldn't avoid hanging out with her because she asked you out on a date and make it all awkward.
Right.
I would pursue a friendship with that girl. And I think that might solve all your problems.
Yeah.
Because you will smooth everything over with the girl you made out with. And then your friend, her friend who you like, might ask that girl, like, so what's up with you guys? And she'd be like, oh, nothing. Like, we hang out, but, he just wants to be my friend. And maybe she'll get some secondhand information, like, oh, he's available. And I think if you want to, if you have a crush on this girl, you should pursue her and not worry about what happened at this party. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, because honestly, it kind of sounds like you're a little in your head about it. And do you even have confirmation that the girl that you like even saw it?
I think I'm pretty sure, like, we didn't even, it was all in one area.
Okay.
So yeah, she saw it.
All right.
Yeah.
But like I said, you don't know, like, she could have been just as drunk and doesn't even remember.
Sometimes you see somebody making out with your friend and you go like, oh, wish it was me, and then it stirs something up in you. So maybe it may have worked out in your favor a little bit. Like, there's the guy, it's like, nobody makes out with that guy. Well, I'm not going to make out with that guy. But then it's like, well, he made out with my friend. Why not me?
You never know.
So what do you guys communicate? Do you talk? Do you like DM each other or
Snapchat?
We have each other on Snapchat. I tried Snapchatting her this summer, actually. The girl that I liked this summer, and it was just like very, very brief. And that's the one thing that we've actually like exchanged. One word that we actually exchanged over the summer. Yeah.
Are you going to see her anytime soon because of your major or anything like that? Any multiple friends hanging out? Or when are you going to see her next, basically?
Based on the way things are sounding, it sounds like we're going to be seeing each other every week pretty much for those meetings.
Starting next week, you're going to see her?
Well, starting just this last week, technically.
Okay. All right. So you're going to see her casually, chat her up a little bit. Say hello.
Yeah.
Be friendly, make her ask, so what's up with you and my friend?
Yeah.
And then you can open up that conversation and go from there.
Proceed as usual.
Proceed as usual. Don't worry about the party.
Yeah.
It's no big deal,
Everybody gets drunk and makes out with somebody sometime.
Yeah. She could have come on to you. You don't even remember.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
It sucks when you don't remember stuff.
It really does.
You know what? Don't think about that part. You don't even remember what happened. So don't waste your time trying to overanalyze it and think it, because you don't even have all the relevant information anyways.
Exactly.
Just forget about it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Forget it ever happened.
That's a good point.
Yeah. That's my advice. You're never going to figure it out or be able to analyze it properly anyways. So you may as well just...
pieces are gone forever.
Yeah, just give up. Just delete that memory from your brain. It's irrelevant.
I know there are some friends from that party that actually do remember what happened, but I probably just won't even bring it up.
Just forget about it.
Yeah, it's really an insignificant moment on the grand scheme of things. It's not like it meant something to you. You don't want to pursue it anyways. It's not worth the mental energy to worry about it,
That's good. Yeah, I think part of the anxiety came from the fact that I had like a plan. I had this plan that I was going to execute, and that this kind of like messed up this plan that I had. But
proceed with the plan as usual.
Okay.
Do not abandon the plan.
Hell yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for the call, Doodle Bopper. Hope it all works out. Feel free to call us back with any updates if you have some.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care. Bye. Okay, everybody, we are here on the phone with Anu. Anu called us a few months ago when a sandwich girl gave him a phone number to hang out.
Yep.
You may remember that he decided it wasn't worth pursuing, but today he has something new to talk to us about. So, Anu, you're talking to Derrick and Meg, the Heartslayers. What's up?
Hey, Heartslayers. Thanks for taking my call. I wanted to call in to ask about something not even romantically related at all, but regarding to like making friends and those kinds of relationships.
Okay.
So I think you guys have talked about this maybe a little bit at some point in previous shows, but I wanted to like ask a more specific question. So I'm like kind of at that age where I've graduated college, I'm working a full-time job, and it's obviously it's harder to meet people, right?
Yeah.
but I've specifically, like, I've met 2 people in the past, like, month or 2 that seem interesting. And, like, I have their contact information. They're both guys, and we're about, like, the same age-ish. So, like, one of them I kind of met through, like, some professional meetup, and we've kind of run into each other occasionally at, like, this gym that I guess we both go to. And this other guy I met at, like, this music festival I was at, and then I ran him again, like, a couple weeks later. So I have both of their contact info, but it's been like probably about a month since I've like spoken or contacted them. And I'm kind of wondering, like, I don't know, like, how do I reach out to them and like set something up? I'm realizing that I've never really done anything like that. And I'm kind of like I know how to like set up like a first date with like somebody that I'm interested in romantically. But like, how do you, I don't know, set something up with somebody you want to be friends with, you know? How do you initiate that sort of thing?
Interesting. How do guys make friends?
How do you make friends?
I don't know. It's tough.
I can't remember the last like random person I met that I became friends with. That wasn't like already a friend of a friend, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people are more social than others. I think the secret is to be really casual about it.
I was going to say, you could treat it like a really casual first date, just like, hey, hang out with me.
Yeah. All right. Anu, what do you do for fun? Do you get out of the house and do anything?
I do things. I try to. What do I do when I'm not working? I like to like draw, so I'll go to like drawing classes and like co-ops, that kind of thing.
Do you
usually
go ahead?
Oh yeah, like so usually with my friends, and like most of my friends I've known for a long time, which is why like this is kind of a new situation. With them, I'll just like, you know, we'll hang out and like go to a brewery, or we'll hang out and play board games or something. Usually kind of like group focused things.
That's
There you
perfect,
go.
dude.
That's the perfect opportunity.
Just hit those guys up and be like, yo, me and all my friends are going to a brewery. What are you doing tonight? You want to go? And then the dude be like, nah, I'm busy, you know, but
Maybe
thanks for the
next
invite.
time,
Maybe
yeah.
next time. Yo, me and my friends are having board game night. We need an extra player. You want to roll over?
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, sure.
Interesting.
It's hard when it's like a one-on-one basis, because then it's like, are you flirting with me or whatever? But no, when you already have an established group, that's so easy to introduce somebody new into it.
Yeah, the game thing is good because literally you can make it seem like we'll literally take anybody. We just need somebody to come play this game, and then it's really like low pressure. Like, well, if they'll take anybody, if they'll take a homeless person or me, might as well be me. It's super low pressure. And then the brewery thing is good too, because, you know, guys are like, a bunch of dudes are going to go get drunk. Yeah, why not?
Hey.
Like, I could have a beer and then leave if I want.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, that was kind of that like crossed my mind, but I thought I was worried that'd be like too much pressure to put on somebody. Like, I'm not just like throwing you into like a one-on-one situation. I'm throwing you into like, here's me and all my friends that you don't know, and you're like the odd person out, you know? I was worried about that.
I think it's less pressure than a one-on-one situation, because with one-on-one, it's like, okay, what do you do when it goes silent, like, and you have nothing to say?
Yeah, and with multiple people, that's exactly right. Like, if it's just one person, it's like, oh, you know, if I don't connect with this person, I'm going to be stuck with this person I don't like. But if it's a group of people, the odds are you'll find at least somebody that you really like. It'll probably be you.
Right.
But maybe they will really connect with one of your friends, and then, you know, all three of you become better friends or something.
Right. And there's always going to be somebody else there to fill the silence if it's awkward.
Yeah.
So, and everybody kind of has at least one single connection to the group. So it's fine.
Yeah, and you'll be the gatekeeper of the friendship because you invited this person, so they'll have to go through you to get back into the friend group again.
Exactly.
Sure. Even if they don't want to see me, but they want to see somebody I know, they have to go through me. That's good.
And then that opens up communication with you guys, and then you can just start hanging out from there. And then they'll be like, yo, board game night tonight? You'd be like, nah, the group's not playing a game, but I mean, if you want to come over, hang out at my house, you're more than welcome to. And then, boom, friendship is made.
Hey, and they probably have a group of friends that you could get invited to too, so even more people.
Yeah, you siphon off their friends, they'll siphon off your friends. It'll be a big shindig.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That sounds promising. Okay. I will work on doing that. I'll like set something up this weekend, maybe.
You should.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Go for it.
Okay.
Well,
Makes sense.
good luck. I hope it works out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go for it. Thank you.
All right.
Heartslayers.
Thanks for the call, Anu. We'll talk to you later. Good luck. All right, everybody. That's our episode for today. We want to give you a big thank you for watching and a huge shout out to all of our callers and an even bigger shout out and thank you to all of our viewers and supporters, especially those of you who support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Mega64 for just $1 a month. You get access to all of these episodes a week or 2 weeks early. As always, I want to invite anybody out there who has their own take on any of today's topics to leave a comment in the comment section below. We love reading your interpretations, all you little Heartslayers out there. Be sure to follow us on all social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, so you never miss an update about what's happening with the Heartslayers. And if you want to contact us, feel free to call us on our Discord at bit.ly/Heartslayers. You can also email us at heartslayers@mega64.com.
Yeah.
You can follow me personally on Twitter at Gustavo. You can follow me on Instagram at Derrick Acosta only.
And I am at Furnace Woods. Let me say it really fucking clearly for you.
You okay over there, Meg?
No, I'm not okay. Yeah, I'm at Furnace Woods on both Twitter and Instagram.
Somebody criticized Meg.
Somebody negged me in the comments, but it's cool.
For her pronunciation of her own Twitter handle, but
At Furnace Woods.
That guy was an idiot.
Anyway.
I don't like to talk crap on our viewers,
No,
but
it's fine.
that guy got out of line. Now this is an awkward close to the show.
Anyway,
all right, shake it out. I'm gonna forget that happened.
We're available on all streaming services if you want to just listen to the audio version.
Yeah, follow us on Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Follow Meg at Furnace Woods.
Furnace Woods.
I'm Gustavo, Derrick Acosta only. We will be back in just 1 week to answer all of your questions once again. So if you missed us today, it won't be very long until we're back again. We're always here in the studio. We're always reading your emails and thinking about Heartslayers, but every Monday at 4 is when we finally get to talk to you.
Exactly.
So until next time, take care of yourselves, and we will see you later.
See you later.
Bye-bye.